Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, tmosso@the1916company.com. It is in the description below your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Purchase and pricing, tmosso@the1916company.com. In 2008, Vacheron Constantin launched its modern-day icon. Based on two watches, one from 1919 and 1921, Vacheron launched the Historiques American 1921, a watch that some describe as an early driver's watch. Indisputably, it has become the design most closely associated with the modern Vacheron brand, and in late 2017, for the 2018 model year, it launched this, the mid-size 36.5 millimeters, a little bit closer to the original in size. Still the Historiques American 1921. The watch is super slim. It's 7.6 millimeters thick from lug to lug, 42 millimeters with an 18 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now the American is a lovely watch that features what some describe as a driver's orientation, and I'll show you why. If my hand's on a steering wheel here, the watch is perfectly upright and legible. Now, intentional, or is it like a backronym, something that was sort of devised as an explanation after the fact? I'm not sure, but I like the legend and lore of the model. I like thinking of this as a sportsman's watch, maybe something for driving a Stutz or a Duesenberg. Now, the watch, of course, is super flat, and being a dress watch, it should fit underneath the cuff, and it does. Take a look at the edges of the case, not the lugs, the edge of the case. Nowhere near the edge of my wrist. This watch is suitable for a wrist as small as 13 centimeters circumference. While it is described as a mid-size, it is not marketed as a ladies' watch, and I think that's the way to look at it. My wrist at 16 centimeters wears it beautifully, and if your wrist were any smaller than mine, this is going to fit a lot better than the 40 millimeter version. Taking a look at the strap, we have a large rectangular and also medium rectangular scale alligator leather strap, dark brown with a gloss finish, a monotone stitch. You can see the edge is shear cut and lacquered for a clean, refined edging. Then on the bottom, calfskin, no crimping, no gouging, a Vacheron factory strap with a little pin buckle in rose gold like the watch with the Maltese cross emblem that is the symbol of the brand, and you'll find it everywhere on this watch. And now the case is fascinating. First, because the lugs are manually welded to the case. If you want to get that super sharp break like you would on a vintage watch between lug and case, machining and stamping can't get it done. Those are the mass production methods. This is done by literally welding the lug to the case manually and using a file to remove the gathered metal from the weld. It is very secure. It is very handsome, sharp, striking, and unique. So this is a handmade case right off the bat. You'll also note it's a monoblock case, as the bezel and the case are all one piece. Everything, the movement, the dial, it loads through the back. So you have this lovely seamless look up top. You have almost like a storm cloud gray dial. This is not silver. This is something with muscles to it. Silver that's hit the gym and bulked up. So you have a wonderful, rather rich and coarse granular structure, a railroad track outboard for reading your individual minutes, then a sunken subseconds with a concentric pattern that also has its own little railroad track. Now you can see though that there are different fonts on this dial. We have this sort of Art Nouveau Arabic numeral for the hours, and then we have somewhat more, I would say, so this is Art Nouveau, this is more Art Deco, this type of font right here. This would be subsequent to the 1925 Exposition des Arts Décoratifs, which was the original root of the Art Deco movement. So you have those two different fonts, one of the quirks of the style. We have blackened gold, modified Breguet style hands for the hours and minutes, and then a counterweighted Lancet style seconds hand. Like I said, a really coarse texture with a storm cloud gray color that gives this a little bit more visual punch than simple silver, and a rose gold Maltese cross. Now this is the same movement you'll find in the full-size watch, but it's a better fit for this case. You can see Geneva seal on the movement, but also on the case. As post-2012, it's a standard for the full watch, not just for movement finish. Now, 65-hour manual wind power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate. You could see beautifully decorated, living up to the legend of the Geneva stamp. 21 pivot jewels and 5 position adjusted. 5 is what you'll find on a chronometer, and 5 is what you'll find on the best high horology watches. 6 is really rare. 5 is considered to be par for the best watches. And you can see that we have 2 sharp interior angles where bevels meet in a crease over the escape wheel, and then we have another one over the center wheel. That one's really well defined. The bevels are of superb quality, clearly hand finished. Even if they're maybe started mechanically, they're hand finished. You could see the locating pegs used to locate the balance cock on the plate below. Those have been polished on their top, and then all of the recesses, the countersinks for the jewels and the screws, they've been internally beveled. There's an off-center solarization on the crown wheel core, which I love. All screw heads black polished with slots and circumference chamfered, and then engine turning on the base plate with a black polished stud holder Geneva style, and solarization on the barrel cap. 30 meters water resistant. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.